Good evening. I'm here, but also not really. This is not live. This is actually recorded off stream. I still haven't decided if this will be exclusive to YouTube or if I'm going to throw this up on Twitch as a premiere yet. But as you can see, I am playing a new game. A game that I'm sure some people that browse my YouTube channel for certain videos right now, specifically the Tribal Hunter ones, probably will enjoy seeing on my feed. On their feed, excuse me. This has changed. It is a game. It is borderline not safe for work. Actually, it is not safe for work. Who are we kidding? This is a little more racy than I'm used to streaming. That said, I am going to be recording this. I'll probably be doing it in 30 to 60 minute chunks rather than an hour. I'm probably going to do multiple episodes in a row right now. We'll see. This shouldn't be long. I believe this game is only like 2-3 hours if you actually get through it. I know it's brutally difficult according to the Steam reviews, so this might take me a little while to do. But I'm going to handle this a little differently than I normally do streams or even the few videos I've done. I'm not going to be using the mic for most of this. I'm going to use it sometimes, but not all the time. Specifically, I'm going to be using it to read dialogue. Any sort of frustration noises, exasperation, or just random thoughts in my head, we could probably put those aside for the time being. They are not necessary for this game. And as you could probably tell, I'm a little more subdued tonight, a little closer to the microphone than usual. Well, I hope that's your thing, because that's what this is going to be. If this is a Twitch premiere, and you're not happy with this, feel free to click off. Do not watch it. That said, it will be uploaded to YouTube, either after it premieres, because Twitch still requires a 24-hour exclusivity period, or it'll happen only on YouTube. Just let that ambience soak in for a second. But anyway, if you don't know what this game's about, you'll find out very, very quickly. So don't worry. So to get started here, let me pull up the window the way I want it, because I'm going to have to go back and forth between this and the thing quite often. There's a train in the distance, ruining the ambience. Change Special is a unfinished special version of the game, which I might stream normally once it's finished, if these videos go over well. But until then, let's start with our new life. This game is not to any person, organization, region, country, whatever. No hints. So yes, this game is rather difficult, as I'm told. And as I've seen, it is very much not for kids. Normal mode is more challenging, but you are able to play through the entirety of the game, starting now. Try to stay hopeful. Your eyes sting under the intense light, but you still make an effort to keep your eyes open and take in the situation you're in. If I misread things, I apologize. Through your hazy eyes, you discover that you're in a very unfamiliar room. Your limbs feel weak, your head is spinning, but the most gripping thing on your mind is that it feels like you haven't eaten anything in years. You possess nothing but a small pair of shorts. You don't even think that they were originally yours. Obviously, you've been kidnapped. Your vague memories seem to align with this fact as well. You've been kidnapped by someone, and they brought you here. You feel very confused, but you clearly understand that the first thing you should do is escape from this room. Alright, you only have one goal for now. Let's begin. It looks like this device controls the capsule, but it's broken. There's lots of dust on top and no signs of use, so who turned it off? You seriously want to touch it? Nothing happened. strange liquid is on the wall. It's probably not a good idea to touch it. Full of pipes and wires. It's quite deep and dark inside. You can't fit through it, of course. Contents are mainly air and paper. Locked. You didn't find anything to open it with. It says hold shift to run on the folded paper. Dried unknown chemicals precipitate at the bottom of the test tubes. You're hungry as hell, but you're not nearly that desperate. Who put these notes here? Do not touch them, if you do not want to be one of them. Avoid them. I don't know the capsule password. I just hope you awaken and read this. Be safe, survivor. Is he talking about something dangerous? The handwriting of this note is rather messy, and from its contents it doesn't appear that it's written by your kidnappers either. You start hoping that this is a bad reality show. There are more notes in the second page. It's clearly in another person's handwriting. Please remember to dispose of the liquid waste and to clean up the sewer. Do not drop any sticky objects, samples, or chemicals on the floor. Especially the samples. You look inside of this strange capsule. It seems you've been in it for a long time. At the bottom there's a small layer of liquid. You subconsciously think that it might be sweet. You must have drunk a lot of this when you were sleeping. You looked inside. There's obviously no way you could climb in. However, you hear something that sounds like dragging and slipping around. You should probably step back a bit. What was that? Was it some kind of living milk pudding? Whatever it was, this place is clearly not safe anymore. It's not the best time to think about it too much. Upon closer inspection, there appears to be a button deep inside. You put your hand in the vent, carefully winding around You put your hand in the vent, carefully winding around wires and pipes inside. Finally, you manage to push it. The switch inside has been pressed. You still remember what happened before. You don't want to get too close. Keep your distance. Liquid appears to be squirming on the wall. You don't want to touch it. This place is a mess. Seems it's been deserted for a long time. Where are the people who kidnapped you? It doesn't look like there are humans around in this area. You shivered. You have a feeling that your troubles have only begun. Or maybe you're just cold. Let's focus on finding a way out first. A corrugated box made out of corrugated cardboard. Assorted papers, glass shards, and CD fragments are in it. Conclusion: trash. A pile of excellent garbage. The sunset shines over the collapsed buildings below. You're standing in a tall tower that you have never seen in any news report or book before. A strange place surrounded by ruins. Only this tower stands amongst the rubble. Where is this place? Staring down at the broken walls below, you are on the verge of panic. Are these the ruins of a city? There's nobody around that could help. You are too focused on the view, unaware of the civet behind you sneaking from the roof. What? Civet? I'm sorry, I don't know that word. That is absolutely not a normal one of those. It appears to be made of rubber. You're knocked over by the so-called civet, landing hard on the floor below. You have no time to care about what kind of civet it is. You just know that you're in trouble. This huge human-shaped feline is approaching you, slowly licking its lips. It lowers its front paws in an attack posture. You're staring at it, and it's staring right back at you. At this moment, time seems frozen. The big cat attacked you before you could run, but you didn't expect this big cat wouldn't pounce. Instead, it transformed into a kind of goo, and it coats your entire body. Your whole body starts feeling oddly sticky and warm, then feelings of compression as the latex on your body shrinks. It's starting to become difficult to think. Your consciousness is merging with the creature. You've been transferred by this cat. You now think what the cat is thinking, as you lick your lips in satisfaction. You examine your new body, feeling surprisingly happy about it. Maybe, one day, you'll forget that you ever were a human. Your adventure ends here. So just a quick aside, as you could see, saving is paramount in this game. So, I will be doing this quite often. Clearly, I just really like seeing this first one quite a bit. And not because this stupid thing isn't cooperating. You can input the password in this machine. Seems it's connected to the door on the right side of this corridor. Try to type the password in. Wrong password. Try to find a clue somewhere. It won't open. You can use F12 to immediately return to the main menu if you want to skip repeating death scenes, but sometimes you might miss something. An unusual machine. When you stand in front of it, it scans your iris and makes a record of your progress. Is this some sort of attendance machine? Try to stay hopeful. A pile of boxes containing only rubbish. An old newspaper. It details a serious new flu report. The newspaper looks very old and yellowed, but the date seems very recent to you. How long have you been asleep? You don't know whose notes these are. If we want humanity to continue, we must change our genes. There is no other choice. Is it too late? It matters not, as long as I can live. Even if I have to reject my humanity. It appears that the papers on the back are all medical terminology and chemical formulas. You don't understand a lick of it. Reject my humanity. Beans. The man in the picture was turned into a dog. If you touched that thing, would it be the same for you? Similar to the machine you have, but it's closed. Still coated in dust, though. Come to the library. I wait you. Who left this? Switch is covered with rust. You can't press it. You begin to wonder what the switch does. As you can see, it's empty. Only air and dust resides here now. You still remember what happened before. You don't want to get too close. Some report is written on this. The experiment failed again, so I locked the room, but this time it got so close that it almost blew up the entire building. I've manipulated the pattern of the ceramic tiles on the floor. The bigger tiles are the key. The password of the storage room is hidden across the floor. I saw there were rats inside the storage room, so we brought in a cat, but yesterday we lost it after it ate our sample. Also, there's something above the balcony. Looks like a wild cat. How could a wild cat be on top of a building like this? All new subjects aren't experimented on voluntarily. We have the last 5 subjects here. I'm sorry for them, but to succeed, to save us all, we need them. We need their sacrifice. Sacrificing a few lives is the preferable option when it comes to saving many, many others. You probably can move this box easily, but it's definitely a bad idea right now. Alt plus enter. A twist on the word. The twist word in the crypt paper. Occasionally chased. Situation. Don't use save machine. Avoid doomed files. And thus the loss of humanity. A star-shaped piece of plastic. It's not important. Why do you want this thing? It's just a piece of trash and you don't even have any pockets. Were you under the impression that it was a save point of some sort? There's no point in reliving the past. The gate is still locked. You didn't find the way out. A device that controls the door. You opened it from the other side. Hope it can't squeeze under the door. You're too weak to push this heavy, then. How cute. Hunger, fear, and loneliness flooded your heart like a tsunami. For a poor guy who's been locked away for so long, you're almost at the end of your rope. You don't know what's safe anymore. Those unfamiliar creatures are in every corner, and you have no idea when they're going to show up next. You start praying for someone, anyone to show up. Any sort of human, just one person. It could be anyone, even the people who kidnapped you. But there is nothing, not even any decent clothes. Only monsters. Your legs are weak and tired, but you have no other choice. You have to keep going. Get out of the building alive. How unfortunate. You struggle desperately, kicking, pushing, rolling on the ground. With all your efforts, you finally rip that sticky thing off your body. The slime slides back into the pipe and runs away. They stopped fixing the vent pipe. Someone said they saw something moving inside of it. My friend told me it's an escaped sample. Looks like the door was welded shut. You can hear water dripping behind the door. It's beautiful. This kind of virus is a super virus that has never been recorded before. This virus has a long latent period and is spread through many different methods. It's also difficult to detect before it's too late. The virus has a long latent period and is spread through many different methods. It's also difficult to okay. It's the same dialogue twice. This virus is also way too strong. We've tried all we can, but we still can't cure it. This is our demise, the end of civilization. However, if our plan succeeds, then we may be able to save this world. It's too dark to read what's written here. There's a main electric switch behind this plate. If the power cuts off suddenly, the entire office illumination system will malfunction. If this happens, please fix it ASAP. I've tried to mix the genes of animals into human genes. I've tested many methods, but until now, there hasn't been an effective way. I heard that the social order on the other side of the globe has completely collapsed. We've been carrying the virus for quite some time. But if we aren't human, then it won't affect us, right? The familiar living latex. You almost feel hungry enough to try and eat some. Office rules coat the paper. You feel like your head will explode if you continue to read this. The bottom of this paper visibly states, "Do not run in the office." This is a hole filled with pipes, similar to the one you saw earlier. Even the positions of the pipes are the same. A sweeping robot. It appears to be fond of you. It's been staring at you constantly. Do you want to search this box? While you were digging through the old garbage, you were pricked by an old needle. It wasn't bleeding, so you ignored it. But in a minute, you start to feel unusually warm. Your head starts feeling dizzy too. Tiny gray squares overwhelm your vision. You struggle to maintain your footing, but you fail. You don't have the strength to stand up anymore. You feel like you're going to die. You suspect that it was filled with poison. However, with a strange squirming, you notice that your ears are becoming longer and bigger. You can control them freely as well. Then you discover that your body is also beginning to grow visible fuzz, the same color as your hair. It's true. You pull on a tuft of it. It feels just like your normal hair. It hurts a bit too. Your body feels like it's boiling now, and a lot of hair starts emerging from your skin. You try to stay calm as you watch yourself slowly change. Your elongated teeth bite your tongue, and your nails grow like crazy. You can feel a tail. You can feel a tail swaying where your caudal vertebrae normally is. It's one of the strangest feelings you've ever experienced. Eventually, everything slows down and the hair stops growing. You slowly open your eyes. You immediately notice that your nose has become further from your face. You stretch out your hand and feel your smooth snout. You've become a werewolf, real, hairy, and all. But you're not as big as you expected. You squat down on the floor. It's a little unbelievable and a little bit happy. You start to adjust to your improved senses. You lost your human identity. At least you like your new appearance. You comfort yourself as you wiggle your new tail. So what to do next? Wait, what is... They don't seem to have noticed you yet. Try to sneak around them. I don't think you can watch TV on that. An electric sweeping robot. It's full of professional-looking words and scribbles. A yellow book. It's about reducing your carbon footprint. Someone's very friendly with you right now. When I said that this game wasn't for children, this is kind of what I meant. These black latex creatures can't form crystalline lenses. Therefore, they are unable to see in the same way that most animals do. They see by detecting motion and utilizing their auditory senses, so they can't see anything motionless. However, their recent activities demonstrate highly developed intelligence, which surprised me greatly. Unfortunately, we have to destroy these failed samples as soon as possible. These samples are completely useless to our research goals. Not sure how that happened, but okay. The answer was that I ran. That's what happened. A box of pens. That's all it is, a box of pens. The creatures appear to have independent thought. After several experiments, we discovered that the thoughts and behaviors of tested people were greatly influenced by the creatures. Humans who have been assimilated or parasitized may gain the immunity that we're looking for, but their minds have been permanently altered. They still appear to retain their memories of who they used to be, but they are no longer themselves. Their brains have fused with their parasites. It's just paper. These samples form crystals resembling a mask. This mask is as important to them as the nuclei of our cells. When they die, their crystal mask will root to where it stands and starts growing new crystals. These crystals may appear translucent, but there is actually liquid latex inside. Eventually the crystal will burst, producing new life form from the remnants. Obviously, these samples can reproduce using fission. Why are they doing this the hard way? A mask. Do you want to pick it up? You gently lift the mask. It's much lighter than you thought it would be. It's bright and translucent with no apparent flaws. It's obviously connected to these creatures. You stare at it curiously for a while, then you are surprised by a strange sensation. What is this sticky stuff on your hand? You quickly realize what this means. You try to throw the mask away, but you discover that it's glued to your hands. At that moment, the mask starts secreting gobs of latex. Some of it went straight for your face, gripping it tightly. Lots more latex poured out from the back of the mask, flowing over your body. It coats all of your skin in only a few seconds. It creeps over your body in an orderly fashion. The latex around your face begins to tighten. The mask pulls itself onto your face. You attempt to remove it, but your efforts are fruitless. This thing is stuck to your face. It's now part of you. You can only watch through the two small holes on the mask. It doesn't feel like you're wearing a mask anymore, though, and your body feels surprisingly light. You run over your new body with your slimy hands. You feel very sticky. Your bones and organs have disappeared, replaced with goo. You don't know if anything else changed either. You turn your head. All the other creatures in the room are looking at you. What will you do now? Like an electric shock, you compulsively feel a sense of unity. You walk over slowly and hug one of them tightly. How lovely. To save the rest of the population, we can only turn to genetics. I've tried injecting animal genes into some single-celled organisms. The initial tests, these unicellular organisms swallowed simple cells and forced their genes into other simple cells. The next step was to use them to change human cells indirectly, if it's even possible. No one believes me, but these samples' intelligence levels are improving too rapidly. They've learned to prioritize superior hosts instead of just anybody. This is happening consistently, not just once or twice. I was worried about it, so I reported it to my superiors. They only said that these samples were failures and to move on. It's too small to get in. They've developed faster than I expected. I tried to use them to cure the virus, but it seems now they are more interested in changing DNA. Breeding is their primary natural instinct, and the way they breed is to parasitize someone's body. What an unfortunate thing. That guy's land next. His task will be hard, but please give it a try. The handwriting's terrible, and there's a lot of mistakes. This thing always worries you now. You don't care enough to read what's on it. Utensils. A broken cup. You're not wearing shoes, so you don't wish to get too close to it. A sheet of paper. Jar. You see a coin in the jar. You still don't want to put your hand in it. Still a jar. Another jar. It looks dangerous, but it's actually solidified latex. It can't do anything currently. A shiny, empty jar. You thought this jar might be different. You were wrong. It's a tube, not a jar. A jar. Nice. Oh my god, you found a jar. Jar, is that you? What do you expect? Jar. Oh dear. These samples can alter your DNA by covering your body and breaking down your cells, but the effect is too strong. It transforms you into a liquid latex that has its own consciousness. It makes you transform into monsters that will contain animal DNA. We call this transformation. We're still not sure whether people who have been transferred still possess their own minds at all. The experiment has succeeded, but also failed. Utensils. Utensils. I don't know if my Thocky keyboard is doing anything for you, but enjoy it. That's what they say, right, Thock? That's what this is, Doc. You struggled hard and punched the head of that little creature. It flaps its wings and flies away. Jar. These little flying guys look a bit strange. They aren't jumping on you. They seem to want to play with you instead. In addition, you quickly notice that there are thick layers of latex on the floor, restricting your movement. It seems that this strange place is their nest. It's not moving. It seems it'll require a little more thinking to get through this one. A large stack of collected data has been placed here. But who did it? Mysterious crystals. A big crystal. The black samples eventually start to fade. They start to solidify and turn into crystals. Part of the crystals will break up after a while and create new copies. I tried doing more research, but it's too late for that now. Our data for now says that the latex that the creatures create is a mixture of different animals' DNA. Today, my friend was cut by a crystal. He felt dizzy and we quickly checked his body. We discovered that a lot of radiation went through his body. Strange. Don't save here when enemies are too close. What a fitting end to our first part of this strange, changed tale. I will resume this soonish. I don't know when. I probably might record the next part like right now, honestly. But again, I don't know what I'm doing in terms of posting this online. I don't know if it's going up on YouTube first, if it's going on Twitch first as a premiere, and then on YouTube the next day. I had a plan to do this a bit earlier and get it up the night I'm actually recording this, but unfortunately that didn't happen. So, for now, we'll see where things go. Until then, try your best to hold on to yourself. Goodbye.